We may pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Today we will start about Panya. So we have, as we have learned before, in Visuddhimagga, we have 3 different parts. The first part is about morality. The second part is about concentration. Now we are going to start the last part about Panya, Panya Papeda, the analysis of wisdom or knowledge. So in this part, we will learn many different types of Panya. The first one is, okay, although we have many different types of Panya, if we say only one word, then there will be knowing everything in detail. So we have many different things. For example, when you study Pitama, you also know like consciousness, also know. Sanya also perceive the object. The wisdom also know the object. It will be a little bit different among these three. For example, Sanya perceptions. So when we see a golden coin, especially okay, we have 3 different levels. For example, a kid, where I see golden coin, he didn't know how useful it is. Then this is like a Sanya perception. Another one is like ordinary people, like mature people will see the golden coin. We know it's valuable. We don't know how valuable it is. This is the second step, like a consciousness. The last one is like a goldsmith. When seeing golden coin, the goldsmith will know the value of it. It will know everything in detail. It's like a wisdom. So similarly, although we say knowing, that the wisdom will know everything in detail. This is the meaning of wisdom. Although we say one Pali word, Panya, wisdom, but there are many different analyses according to Buddha's teaching. Similar thing can be found in Visuddhimagga. So now all these are from Visuddhimagga, the first diet. Lokiya Panya or Lokuttara Panya. Mending wisdoms or supplementing wisdom. We can also understand mending knowledges or supplementing knowledges. As we have learned many different things, for example, like learning in the school, this are called Lokiya, mending. But not only that, we may have practiced. Then we have practiced also until we can attain jhana. All the things are mending. When we can attain part and fruition knowledge, then there will be supplementing. So we have second diet. Sasava, the subject to canker, or anasava, free from canker. So here we have analyzed about the kankami asava. Asava means like a taint or mental intoxicant. So there are many wisdoms. They are the subjects to the canker. We can also understand another way. They become the object of canker or mental intoxicants. For example, like a sensual pleasure, sensual desire. This is called kamasava, one of the mental intoxicants. It can make mind confused. So there are many knowledge, many wisdoms. They can be the subject to that kind of mental intoxicants. Otherwise, the bhavasava, attachment to the life. We also have attachment to our life. This also becomes mental intoxicants. Now, the ditthasava. Ditthasava means the wrong view or persistent view. When we have this kind of wrong view, this also causes delusion of our mind. Then we can say mental intoxicant. The last one is avijja sawa. That means we have ignorance. Ignorance is also one of the mental intoxicants. So there are some wisdoms, they are the object of mental intoxicants or subject to mental intoxicants. So when we say anasawa, free from cankers, free from mental intoxicants, that means headship. When we attain headship, we may not have any of mental intoxicants, no more cankers, no more taints. That's why this is called anasawa. So all the worldly knowledges, also Sodapati, Sakadagami, Anagami, right? Then they may take right? They give me the object of cankers, mental intoxicants. But when attaining headship, no more. That's why sasawa is subject to canker, also anasawa free from canker. This is also the wisdom. The third Manama Vavatana defining mentalities, Rupa Vavatana defining mentalities. Sorry, materiality, sorry. But today we are going to talk about Rupa Vavatana. We will start Rupa Vavatana in today's class. So now we have to move this one, the fourth diet. Samnasa Sagata accompanied by joy. Ubaka Sagata accompanied by equanimity. So that means there are knowledge or wisdoms, then it will accompany by happiness, joy. You can feel happy. There are some knowledges is accompanied by equanimity. We are not that much happy, just normal mind state. In our daily life, mostly we may have equanimity. We are neither happy nor unhappy, right? This is what equanimous feeling. Okay, now the fifth diet. Dasana Bhumi as the plane of seeing, and Bhavana Bhumi as plane of development. So there are many things we have to know about seeing. Also, we have to know something about development. Right? So that means when we say Dasana Bhumi, that is about Sodapati. Sorry, next one. Sodapati. This is seeing. Another one is the Bhavana Bhumi. In this case, we may be higher knowledge. Right? Higher knowledge is called Bhavana Bhumi. Okay, now the first triad. The three, right? Chintamaya. So when we say Chintamaya or Sutamaya or Bhavanamaya, it's very common everywhere as a constituent of what is reasoning. Because it's like when thinking. It will cover many different types of knowledges, such as like invention in modern society. This also comes from Chintamaya. Many inventions, right, come from Chintamaya. Also many crafts or many works also come from Chintamaya when we invented something. Not only that, sometimes we can also know the Chintamaya by thinking, but like for example, karma ownership. By thinking, oh, this belongs to karma, or this is like a, when we do good, there will be good results. When we do bad, there will be the results. We know this kind of things by thinking also, Chintamaya. Another one is we can also understand like a conformity with path and fruition knowledge. So in this case, we have to understand properly. For example, if we know Namarupas as anicca dukkha anatta, if we're trying to understand Namarupas as anicca dukkha anatta, by thinking, this is also called Chintamaya. Because Sutamaya, as consisting in what has been learned. This is learning knowledge. So all the things we are learning, we have to learn in the school is Sutamaya Jnana. When we say Sutamaya, this is also when hearing, by listening, or also can be by reading. There also can be many other way of learning. This is called Sutamaya Jnana. This means learning knowledge. So Bhavanamaya Jnana as consisting in development. So that means when we say Bhavanamaya, it means we have to practice, developing. Through practicing, we can experience many new things, all are called Bhavanamaya. Okay, now, next one, Briharamana. So Briharamana means as having a limited object. Okay, one more thing here we have to remember. Whenever we talk about Brihta, it means sensual sphere. Sensual sphere object. So that means sensual sphere knowledge will take sensual sphere objects. That's limited. So as you have known, the second one, Magadha Ramana, as having an exotic object. That means Magadha. We can say jhana object. So some knowledge will take jhana as object. So actually, when we attain jhana, all the jhana will associate with knowledge or wisdom. For our Briharamana, some of the sensual sphere consciousness will arise without wisdom. This is also possible. There are many consciousness that will arise together with knowledge or wisdom. Okay, now the last one is Abhimana Ramana, having a measureless object. This is actually the object of path and fruition knowledge, like a Nibbana. So that means it will take measureless objects, right? This is called Abhimana Ramana. We can say path and fruition knowledge. Okay, now we have to go next one. The third type. Aya Kosala, Abaya Kosala, and Ubaya Kosala. We have three types. But among the three, we have to categorize again, more analysis. For example, Aya Kosala as key in improvement. What does it mean improvement? Here, Anatta Hani, the elimination of harm. Okay, if we say another way, the overcoming of agusala, unwholesome minds, or unwholesome things, or unwholesome thoughts. So when we have unwholesome minds, it will be harmful for ourselves. It will be harmful for other people, other living beings. When we say anatta hani, that means the elimination of harm. That means the elimination of agusala. Then we have a Roman 2, atupati, attaupati here in this case. That means the arousing of goods. That means the arousing of wholesome, kusala. This is called aya kusala. The contrary to that, we have the second one, apaya kusala, as key in treatment. So the first one is atahani. That means atahani means the diminution of goods. That means we don't do any good things. Our wholesome quality becomes weaker and weaker. In this way, we can say atahani. Anatupati, the arousal of harm. I mean, it will just cause many harmful things, but detriments. So this is also called ski. This is also called knowledge. All this is not very beneficial for ourselves, not beneficial for our community. This is also called knowledge, right? This is called wicked. Sometimes, although we have knowledge, we have considerations, but if we are unwise, it will be harmful for ourselves, harmful for our community. This is called apaya kosana. The last one is upaya kosana, as skill and means. That means we must know many ways to accumulate good things. Especially when we have upaya kosana, that means occasionally, for example, sometimes we have some difficulty, that we think something, it will appear in our mind how to solve the problem, right? We can say problem solving scheme maybe. So scheme means we must be knowledgeable occasionally, or according to the condition we have. We must try how to solve, how to overcome it. This is called upaya kosana. For example, when we do parami, perfections, this upaya kosana is very important. Without this upaya kosana, we're going to fulfill any parami. we must be skillful conditionally. Okay, so the next one. Atta binivesa as interpreting the internal. Okay, this one. Sometimes we may discern nama rupas internally. And then we can say atta binivesa panya. The knowledge as interpreting the internal. Similarly, behita binivesa as interpreting the external. So when we are discerning other people's namarupas, other living beings namarupas, or externally, then we say behita binivesa. The third one is achata behita binivesa, as interpreting both the internal and the external. In this case, we are discerning both internally, externally. So these are called, these are also called panya, wisdom. Okay, the next group. Okay, tetrads. So here I didn't mention very many things in detail about this group because the 4 kinds of knowledge about the 4 noble truths, as you have already know, right? The noble truth of suffering, the noble truth of the origin of suffering, the noble truth of the cessation of suffering, the noble truth of the path leading to the cessations of suffering. These are called 4 noble truths. When we know 4 noble truths with inside knowledge or with path and fruition knowledge, we can say this is it, 4 noble truths. For example, when we talk about samadhi, previous slide, not yet, previous one. So then there will be many different things about samadhi. You know, when we say samadhi, we have to know the 4 noble truths. Understanding 4 noble truths is called samadhi, right understanding. So with 4 analytical knowledges or 4 discriminations. So here in this case, as you may have known something about Parisambhita, for example, Atta Parisambhita, the knowledge about the meaning. We can also say knowledge about the benefit. Dhamma Parisambhita, knowledge about the law. Niruddha Parisambhita, knowledge about the grammar or the language. Then the last one is Paripanna Parisambhita, the knowledge about the functions of all previous 3 knowledges. Because the function, the domains of previous knowledges. So these are called 4 analytical knowledges or 4 discriminations. So actually there are many other explanations about these 4 discriminations. There are also the causes of 4 discriminations, right? Mentioned in mentioned in Visuddhimagga or Parisambhita also mentioned very much in detail about these 4 analytical knowledges, Parisambhita Jnana. So this one is very special. For example, we have 2 different types of Parisambhita Pata. For example, Sotapanna. Such like Venerable Ananda. This is Sotapanna. He also have Parisambhita Jnana. Like Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Mahamoggallana, then they are arhats. They also attain Parisambhita Jnana. So there are many arhats. They can attain Parisambhita, or the discriminations of 4 analytical knowledges. So they have to fulfill special parami for it. That's why it will take a little bit longer time to explain the one. So I will skip anything, right? Okay, we should go to the next group. Okay, so now we will start with Khanda Nidesa. The descriptions of aggregates. So as we have known the 5 aggregates in Buddha's teaching, but today we will start the material aggregates. So when we are going to talk about defining Namarupas, in the very beginning of today's topic, we have already talked about Nama Vapatthana, Rupa Vapatthana, right? Defining mentality, defining materialities. Today we are going to talk about the materialities. So when we talk about materialities, we have to divide into many different groups. The first group is 4 elements. The second group is about translucent rupas. The third group is about the objective rupas. After that, we have other miscellaneous, for example, like such materialities, also life faculties, and so forth. Today, we will start with very simple things, right? Of elements. So, of elements, here we say, kakala lakana. It has the characteristics of hardness. Although we say hardness, there are many other factors. Actually, in our meditation manual, it mentions many different things, right? For example, hardness, roughness, heaviness. Contrary to these 3, we must have softness, smoothness, lightness. These are called lakana, the characteristics of elements. So in every single things, although it's very small things, there will be earth elements. Then we call patithana rasa. Its function is to act as the foundations for other coexistent primary elements and derived materialities in its own class. So here we have to introduce coexistent primary elements. So together with earth elements, there will be water, fire, wind elements. Then here also use the English word, derived materialities. What does it mean, derived materialities? For example, in every single class, in every single particles, there will be the color, smell, taste, also nutrients, nutrient essence. So when all the things arise in the same class, 4 elements are called primary elements. The rest of like colors, smell, etc., all these things are called derived materialities. So that means the earth elements will be the foundations for all other materialities. Then again, we have Sambati Chana Pachupatana. It is manifested as receiving coexistent materiality in its own class. So that means receiving. Somebody kind of receiving coexistent materialities. Actually, it accepts all the class, all the materiality in the same class to rise together. This is called Samritana Pachupatana. Now we have Patatana. The prosemic cause is the next slide, maybe. The next one. Oh, okay. Yeah. Awa says that Adudeya Patatana. Its prosemic cause is prosemic cause might be CAUSE cause. No, not this cause, it's spelling mistake, right? The prosemic cause is the other 3 great primary elements in its own class. So that means, okay, we have to introduce the nature of Patatana, the prosemic cause. If we don't have any particular prosemic cause, it can be coexistent materialities for Rupa. Similarly, for Nama, it will be associating mentalities. For example, in the case of earth elements, there will be water elements, fire elements, or wind elements, or air elements. So these are called coexistent materialities. They will be the prosemic cause of earth elements. So for the rest of elements, the Bharatana, the prosemic cause will be the same. Okay? So now water elements. Pakarana, Lakana, it has the characteristics of flowing or trickling or ocean. Although we say Pakarana Rasa, when you study for element meditations, you may know the one, flowing or cohesion, two different characteristics for water elements. Then here we can say 2, Vyuhana Rasa. Its function is to intensify the coexistent materialities in its own club. So function we say 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐻, intensifying. So that means we can also understand another way. 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐻 means like separating all over the clubs. This also can be considered as 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐻. Okay, the next one. Sangha Pachupatthana is manifested as holding together or cohesion of material phenomena in its own club. It hold together. Okay, for example, okay, for your understanding, okay, in our daily life, when we want to make, for example, like a rice ball, like a rice pounder ball, for example, right? So we have to sprinkle water, and we can make a ball of sticky rice and a rice pounder. So that means the water element will hold all the things together to make it solid one. It can make solidity. So this is called Sangha Pachupatthana. Now, what is that Pachupatthana? I have already mentioned the one before. The three great primary elements. In the case of water elements, it can be earth, fire, and wind element. The fire element, Unnata Lakkhana, has the characteristics of heat or coldness. So here we have two different types of fire elements. This means heat or cold. Heat also burn. Heat also can burn our body. Cold also can burn our body, both. Right? That's why in Western society, right? Especially like Europe or USA or somewhere, they have frostbite, very, very terrible. Anyway, the main thing is heat or cold. These are called fire elements. So this is the nature of fire elements. So whenever we touch in our body, we touch whatever in our body, right? We can feel warm or heat. This is also fire elements. Similarly, when we touch whatever material, whatever things we touch, we may feel heat or cold. This is a fire element. Okay, the next one. We have Paripajana rasa. Its function is to mature or ripen other material phenomena in its own club. It may mature or ripen. So that means hot or heat make our body, right? Maybe it's older and older. Also, heat also can make our body, right? Mature, ripen. We can also say another way, right? According to manifestation, Matawanupadana Pachupatthana, it is manifested as a continuous supply of softness. Right? For example, like some of the very hot things, if we really very, very, like for example, rice, right? If we make it heat with water, it will be soft. Matawanupadana. So Avasisatadudeya Padathana, its proximate cause is the other three great primary elements in its own club. So here we say earth elements, water elements, or wind elements are the proximate cause of fire elements. Okay. Now the next group, the next one. Wind elements. Vithambana Lakkhana, descending or supporting the coexistent materiality phenomena in its own glabas. This is the characteristics. So that means when we talk about Vithambana, we can also understand like a supporting or pushing two different phenomena, two different characteristics. For example, when we are sitting still, there will be more supporting. When we are walking, more pushing. These are the nature of one element. Actually, when we talk about Samachanya, clear comprehension, We have to understand all these things very much clearly in detail. For example, the functions of one element when walking, now when we're speaking, for example, when I'm speaking, right? Also produce, right? Then another one said, Samutirana rasa, its function is the cause, to cause motion in other material phenomena, like a pushing. Samutirana, Samutirana. Then Abhinihara Pachupatthana is manifested as conveying to other places. As we have mentioned before, Abhinihara, right? That means when we are going here and there, it will push here and there, it will arise in different places. That means all the rupas will arise in different places. Okay, now we have to move the last one. This is a Awasita Bharatana. Its prosemic cause is the other three great primary elements in some kalapas: earth elements, water elements, or one element, so 5 elements. So these are called Mahabhuta embodied. We have 4, right? Earth, water, fire, or wind. These 3 are called Mahabhuta. Mahabhuta means great primary elements. Sorry. They are like a magician. It will teach people this and that, many different things. For example, now with different form, different appearance, right? As man, woman, house, car, all are primary elements. Different form, different shapes. It's like a magician. It can change to any form. So, okay, I also have to introduce one more thing about the meaning of rupa. When we say rupa, this means we call embodied rupatiti rupam. That means changing, decaying, transforming. This is called rupa. Rupa will change a lot. But because of heat, okay, practically you can experience it in your body. When it's too hot, your body will change. Too cold, your body will change. Too hungry, your body will change. So ashamed, your body will change. Thirsty, let's say, your body will change. So a lot of change in our body because of nutriment, because of weather, right? Because of mind, it will change a lot. This is called rupa. So now, based on these the 4 primary elements, there are many other rupas. These are called direct materialities. I already mentioned before, right? Direct materialities. So now, iron translucency. In Bali, we call 𝐏𝐻𝐿. So we all have eyes. Eyes and iron translucency will be 2 different things. Okay? So eyes is just the combinations of many rupas. In the eye, there were many different kalapas, many different particles. Among them, some of them will be body translucency. Many other rupas also. Some of them will be iron translucency. Also, there will be many other rupas. Anyway, the main thing is now we have to talk about iron translucency. So when we study suttas, in many suttas, we can find like a 𝐏𝐻 in Bali like this. Whenever we talk about 𝐏𝐻, it refers to 𝐏𝐻, iron translucency. We must understand differently. But mostly when we translate into English, like eyes, right? For example, like I is impermanent, I is suffering, I is non-self. We may say like that. We can read in Minnesota like that. But real meaning of I is not like this. 𝐏𝐻 means iron translucency is anicca. Iron translucency is dukkha. Iron translucency is anatta. We have to understand like that. So now many people in the world misunderstand about Buddhism. Oh, Buddha just say anicca, dukkha, anatta, right? Anicca, impermanent. Maybe it will be acceptable for everybody. Everything impermanent, sure, changing a lot. Dukkha, not ready to accept. Because people like happiness. Life is happy. Why? Buddha said, suffering, right? So sometimes if we misuse the words, Pali words, Chakku, people can misunderstand. So now here we have to understand, Chakku, eye is not really Chakku. Eye doesn't mean only Chakku Pasara. There are many other rupas in the eyes. There will be eye translucency. When we can see eye translucency, the arising and passing away, we can know that it is Nityatu Kannata. Okay? Not that easy to understand Nityatu Kannata. Okay, now we have to introduce the Pali word, Rupa Bhikataraha Bhutabasara Lakana. It has the characteristics of sensitivity or primary element in its own kalapa that is ready for the impact of visible data or visible objects. So that means we have eye translucency. It will be imaged by color. Now we can see at the time when we pay attention to it. So that's why it's sensitivity of primary elements. This is also one of the translucency, right? Okay, now move next one. We have another characteristics. Dhatu kama nidana kama samuthana bhutabasara lakana. Little long body. So dhatu kama nidana. Dhatu kama means willing to see or wish to see. Desire to see. This is what dhatu kama. Nidana means cause or source or resource. Kama samuthana, produced by kama. So our eye translucency is produced by kama. So here we should say dhatu kamata. This is like a craving to see. So with attachment to see something, we may make kusala, especially kamotara kusala. This kusala kama will produce our body. Then there will be, it also can produce eye translucency. So as long as we have attachment or craving to see, to hear, to smell, so we will do many different things. We will accumulate many kusala kamas or akusala kamas. So any of these karma can be one of the producing cause of our life. Also can be the producing cause of our eye translucency. This one here, dhatu kama nidana, kama samuthana, produced by kama. Buddha pasara lakana. Buddha means elements, pasara means translucency. So sensitivity or primary elements. So okay, the main thing is the characteristics of eye translucency is the translucency or sensitivity of primary elements produced by kama. Right? We have already accumulated with attachment to see something. This is also called lakana. The another one is rupesu avijana rasa. Its function is to pick up the cognitive process to the visible data as objects, or to fetch the cognitive process to the visible object. That is to pull the mind to the visible object. Okay, here I show you the Pali words, avijana. We can also understand another way. It will pull the mind to see the objects. Right? This is called rasa, the function. It's a function. Okay, so briefly, when we talk about rupesu avijana, this is a kind of attraction. It will attract the mind to come to the object. This is called rupesu avijana rasa. Okay, next one. We have Chakku Vinyanasa Adara Bhava Pachupatana. Chakku Vinyana, that means eye consciousness. Adhara means the foundation. Pachupatthana means manifestation. It's manifested as the footing or foundations or base of I consciousness or mental factors and the formations associated with it. Later, we have to study mental process. Although we say I consciousness alone cannot arise. It will arise together with associated mental factors. So I consciousness will be base or the foundations of I consciousness. Based on I translucency, I consciousness and associated mental factors arise. Then we have the next one. Dhatu Kamata Nidhana Kamaja Buddha Bhadatana. Its prosemic cause is the primary element in its own klapas, born of Kama, springing or sourcing from craving to see. So here we can understand briefly, this is Buddha with four elements. Kama produces four elements, are the prosemic cause, if we say briefly. As we mentioned before, with craving to see, with desire to see something, we have accumulated percentage that Kama produce our I translucency, right? That's why now here also the primary elements produced by Kama will be the prosemic cause. Okay, now the next one. The ear translucency is not much different from before. So we can go a little bit faster than previous the materialities. So in the ear, we have many different translucency, especially here two types of translucency, ear translucency and also body translucency. There are also many other klapas in the ear. So ear in itself is not ear translucency, right? There are special materiality that can listen, that can hear, that can be impacted by the sound. This is special rupas, right? This is called ear translucency. Actually, okay, here it will mention Satta Bhikadaraha Buddha Pasara Lakana. It has the characteristics of sensitivity of primary elements in its own klapas that is ready for impact of the sound, or sensitivity of primary elements in its own klapa originated from Kama, springing or sourcing from the craving to hear. Same to previous one, right? We have attachment to hear something, we accumulated that Kama produce our life. Okay, then next one. Satis Avijana Rasa, its function is to pick up the cognitive process to the sounds as objects, or to fetch the cognitive process to the sounds, that is to pull the mind to the sounds. Same to previous one, a little bit different, right? Only previously we have a visual object, now sound object, just changing the object. So Sota Vinyanasa Adhara Bhava Pachupatthana is manifested as the footing or foundations or base of ear consciousness and mental factors associated with it. So that means, as we mentioned before, the sounds will impinge on ear translucency. Then we have ear consciousness arise in ear translucency. We can hear. This is called Pachupatthana. Now the last one. The next one. Satu Kama Danidana Kamaja Buddha Bharatana. This prosemic cause is primary element in its own klapa, born of Kama, springing or sourcing from craving to hear. Also, just slightly different from I translucency, right? The changing the object here, because it do see now to hear. Only that thing will be different. Okay, we have to move next one. The nose translucency. So we have a Ganda Bikadaraha Buddhapasara Lakanam or Kaidu Kamadanidana Kamasmutana Buddhapasara Lakanam were two characteristics as mentioned before. Here's a characteristic of sensitivity or primary element in its own clappers that is ready for the impact of colors, or the sensitivity of primary element in its own clapper originated by gamma, springing or sourcing from craving to smell. It's also not much different from before, right? Then next one. Then Gandhi's original rasam. Its function is to pick up the cognitive process to orders as objects, or to fetch the cognitive process to the orders, that is to pull the mind to the orders. So this is the function. Also not much different from before, right? Only changing the objects. The Ghana Vinyanasa Adara Bhava Bachupatana is manifested as a footing or foundations of the, or base of nose consciousness and mental fetters associated with it. Also same as before, right? No much difference. Okay, the last one. Gaitu Kama Danitana Kamacha Buddha Bratana. Its proximate cause is primary elements in its own clapper, born of karma, springing or sourcing from craving to smell. Also not much difference. Okay, now we have the next one. Okay, time translucency elements. So here, Rasitu Kama Da, sorry, Rasa Bikadaraha Buddhapasara Lakana, or Saitu Kama Danidana, Kamasmutana Buddhapasara Lakana Wa. It has the characteristics of sensitivity or primary element in its own clapper that is ready for the impact of flavors, or the sensitivity or primary element in its own clapper originated by karma, springing or sourcing from craving to taste. Not much different from before, right? Okay, now move to the next one. Rasa is original rasa. It's a function to pick up the cognitive process to flavors as objects, or to fetch the cognitive process to the flavors, that is to pull the mind to the flavors. Also not much different, right? So Jiva Vinyanasa Adara Bhava Pachupatana is manifested as a footing or foundation or base of time consciousness and mental fetters associated with it. Okay, the last one. Saidu Kama Danidana Kamaja Buddha Bharatana. Its proximate cause is the primary element in its own kalabas, born of karma, springing or sourcing from craving to taste. So now we have already talked about the translucency, right? Only one more thing remains. Only one more translucency is remaining. So I said, what is translucency? So previously we have iron translucency. It can be only in the eyes. Nose ear translucency only in the ear. No translucency only in the nose. Tongue translucency can be only in the tongue. But body translucency can be all over the body. We can feel some sensation because of body translucency. So when we talk about body translucency, there must be sensitivity, or there must be the tangible objects. Anyway, here when we introduce the characteristics, the function, the manifestation, the proximate cause of the body translucency, we can also know Potaba Bikadaraha Buddhapasara Lakano. Here we just say Potaba, tangible object. Then also Fusitu Kama Danitana Kama Samutana Buddhapasara Lakanoa. The same, we to touch something, we do feel something, then we accumulate many kusala or akusala, all the karma. All this karma can produce a life. There can be different sensation, different, right? Different body translucency according to our karma. Okay, now it has characteristics of sensitivity, the sensitivity of primary element in its own kalapa, that it is ready for the impact of tangible data, or the sensitivity of primary element in its own kalapa originated by karma, springing or sourcing from craving to touch. This is also similar to the previous one, right? Only touch. Okay, now the next one. Putta bezo avijjana raso. Its function is to pick up the cognitive process to tangible objects, or to fetch the cognitive process to the tangible object, that is, to pull the mind to the tangible object. Also, not much different from before, right? Yeah, kaya vinyana sa adara bhava patupatthano is manifested as the footing or foundation or base of body consciousness and mental factors associated with it. So whenever we touch in our body, there will be sensation. We feel something. At the time, we can say body consciousness arises. So be careful, different foundation, right? Eye consciousness will arise in the eyes, ear consciousness will arise in the ear, no consciousness on the nose, tongue consciousness in the tongue, body consciousness can be all over the body. You know, we touch our eyes, it's body sensation. This means we have body translucency in our eyes. Every body part, there's a body translucency. Okay, now we have to introduce, okay, positive karma dani dana, kamaja buddha bharatana. This prosmic cause is primary element in its own kalapa, born of karma, springing or sourcing from craving to touch. Is it very similar to previous four, right? Then we have to introduce a little bit more about these 5 sensitivity or translucency. When you study Pali Pitaka in Pali or in any languages, whenever the Buddha uses chakku, right? For example, okay, I will say once Pali words, one Pali sentence. Chakku cha paticha, rupe cha paticha, obachati chakku vinyana, tina sangati paso, pasapaja vedana, for example. Chakku cha paticha, we say chakku. That means eye translucency. Not eyes, no eyes, right? So eyes and eye translucency, 2 different things. We have to understand 2 different things. Otherwise, we talk about anicca, dukkha, anatta, you may get confused. So after introducing all the translucencies, there are also external objects that will impinge on the individual translucency. Now we will start with the color, visible data or visible object. So here, chakku patithana lakhanam is the characteristic of impinging on eye translucency element. Right? Chakku patighana, sorry. Chakku patihanana lakhana, sorry. Patihanana means impingement. Okay. So that means eye translucency, the color will impinge on eye translucency. This is the characteristics of color. Okay, now this one, function. Chakku vinyana sa visyo bhasa rasa. Its function is to be the object of eye consciousness and mental factors or mental formations associated with it. So we have already said eye consciousness. So whenever we see something, there must be eye translucency, there must be visible objects, there must be eye consciousness. Not only that, there must be intention to see. So these are primary. Moreover, there's an additional, that is the lights. Without light, we cannot see. So that is why all the color are the object of eye consciousness. So we have to know Chakvanyanasa Visaya Bhava Rasa. You know, Pisan Yeva Gotara Bachubatana. It is manifested as the result of that too. Here we can say like a Gotara means result or domain, we can say like that, right? So that means it's the domain of only eye. For example, like sometimes when we make a joke, we may say, okay, I can hear your color. Then we cannot say like that. Similarly, oh, I can hear your sound. We cannot say like that. Sorry, I can see your sound. We cannot say like that. Because we cannot see the sound, right? So we cannot see the voice. That's why here they have individual objects. We can say like not individual. They are respective objects and respective consciousness. Then we will say Situma Buddha Padathanam. Its proximate cause is the four great primary elements in its own kalapa. So this is the first part we have to introduce as color as objects for the eye translucency. So the next one will be about ear, sound objects. So Sota Patihanana Lekano has the characteristics of impingement on the ear translucency elements. So the sound will impinge on the ear, so we can hear, right? The Sota Vinyanasa Visaya Bhava Raso, its function is to be the objects or the objective field of ear consciousness and mental factors associated with it. So this is called sort of this very, very special consciousness, right? We can hear. As we have explained in eye consciousness, you can also understand the same. There must be ear translucency, there must be the sound objects, there must be ear consciousness. When we have these three, there must be intention, there must be space between all the things that we can hear. It is manifested as the results of the two. That means result of ear consciousness. We can say the domain of ear consciousness. Okay, the last one about proximate cause. Situma Buddha Padathanam. Its proximate cause is the four great primary elements in its own kalapa. We have already said many times about it, right? So another one is odor or smell. What about the nose? Ghana Patihanana Lekano. It has the characteristics of impingement on the nose translucency element. So this is also easy, right? You can understand the smell where impingement on the nose. Then Ghana Vinyanasa Visaya Bhasa Raso. Or the Visaya Bhava Raso, sorry. That means its function is to be the object of nose consciousness and mental factors associated with it. So when we smell, our nose, and also the smell, the nose consciousness, there must be intention, there must be one element that brings the smell. We can smell it. That's why this is the special consciousness to smell, right? Then this Sangyewa Gotara Pachupatano is manifested as the result of the two. Now, Chitumabudha Bharatthana, its proximate cause is the four great primary elements in its own kalapa. Then another one is the flavor. Jivabhati Hanana Lakano. It has the characteristics of impinging on the time translucency element. So Jiva Vijnana Sa Visaya Bhava Raso, its function is to be the object of time consciousness and mental factors associated with it. So when we have time translucency, there must be flavor, then we also have time consciousness, then there will be the water elements, then we can also taste. Okay, now this one. That's what Gojara Pachupatano is manifested as result of the two. Is it clear already? Stuma Buddha Padatana, its proximate cause is the four great primary elements in its own kalapa. So now here we have already talked about four external objects. Here we didn't talk about tangible objects. Why? We say, to see, right? Color, sound, smell, taste, or flavor. We didn't talk about tangible objects. Why? Tangible objects are three elements: earth elements, fire elements, also wind elements. These three are called tangible objects. So when we talk about tangible object, it is the same. Tangible object will impinge on the body translucency. Also, the tangible object will be the object of body consciousness. It will arise, right? Body consciousness. It also the domain of body consciousness, the result of body consciousness. Also easier to understand. That's why I didn't write down here. Also, it doesn't mention Visuddhimagga, but we can understand according to all previous, right? All previous characteristics, function, manifestation, proximate cause. Okay, briefly, when we say 28 rupas, we can find 4 elements, also 5 translucencies. We have 4 objective materialities. If we add one more, then tangible objects is also one of the 3 of elements. That's fine. We don't add anymore, right? Okay, now this one is 14. The femininity faculty, female sex materialities. This 80 bhava lakhanam is the characteristic of the female sex. We can also know the feminine nature, right? The 80 bakasana rasam is function to show that this is the female. This is called 80 bakasana, the function. Then, okay, the next one, the manifestation is a little bit long to explain. For example, 80 linga, nimitta, kutta, akapam, karana bhava pachupatthana is manifested as the reason of the mark. What is the mark? Right? We have different body structure. This is called the mark. Also the sign. We have different sign. For example, like a body hair, you know? We have different sounds. Or this is sound, right? Different sounds, different appearance. Or even for example, like a body hair, also we have different. There's one this is called different sign. We call nimitta. Different work. We can also say another way, different interests, different interests. We can say different work. Okay, that means, okay, we have different ways of working. right? Okay, another one is ways of female. Okay, women here in this case, because of like a behavior, different behavior. So for example, like, okay, now here we also mention like it's for the sexual structure or the body, for the feminine feature, or for typical feminine occupation, or for the typical feminine deportment, for example, right? Okay, in this case, the different behavior, different movements. Okay, so if we match with the body words, for example, iti linga. Linga means structure of the body. Nimitta means feminine feature. Kuta means typical female occupation. Akapa means for typical feminine deportment. That means body posture, right? Walking, standing, sitting, different behavior, different deportment. That's this called Pachupatthana. So we can also understand the same in May. So the same thing we mentioned in the May, right? Anyway, so now we have to say another one. Chituma Buddha Bharatthana. Its prosemic cause is 4 great primary elements in its own klapa. Okay, now we have to continue May such materialities. So masculinity, faculty, or May sex materiality. Purisa Bhava Lakanam is a characteristic of male sex. Purisoti Bakasana Rasan, its function is to show that is a female, that is a male. This is a male. So this one will be easier for you. Now we have next one is about manifestation. The saying Purisa Linga Nimitta Kuta Akapa Karana Bhava Pachupatthana. So it's manifested as the reason for the mark, sign, work, and ways of May. That is for sexual structure of the body. We can say the body structure. We also can say sexual organ for both parties, right? Male or female, sexual organs can be. Also, for the masculine feature, for example, we have different body hair. Then, not only that we have different like legs or hand or everything's a little bit different. That's slightly different. Anyway, for typical masculine occupation, it gives us like a different interest also, right? We have different interest. This means we can say kuta. The 4 typical masculine deportments. This is called akapa. So we have different lifetimes, like different deportment, right? Walking, standing, sitting, everywhere. We have different posture, different appearance. That's what this is called akapa. This is called Pachupatthana. So Chituma Buddha Bharatthana, its prosemic cause is 4 great primary elements in its own klapa. This is called sex materiality. We have 2 sex materiality, male and female. So for male, we have only male sex materiality. For female, female sex materiality. Okay, now we have to move to the next one about life faculty. Life materiality. This is also important materialities in our body. It can be all over the body. As we mentioned before, body transcendency can be everywhere in the body. Also, sex materiality will be everywhere in the body. Also, now again here, life faculty, it will be everywhere in our body. So here, Sahaja, Sahaja Rupa, Nubalana Lakana. It has the characteristics of maintaining connections, kinds of materialities, material phenomena, and its own klapas and the moment of their presence. So far, we haven't explained anything about rise and emergence of namarupas. Every ultimate reality, especially real rupas, they may have horizon states, theta states, and production stage. So after arising, before passing away, the life faculty will maintain coexisting rupas. That means the materiality that arise together with it. That's why here we just mentioned at the moment of their presence. So after passing away, cannot support anymore, right? So after arising, before passing away, they can support each other. That means life faculty can support or maintain. Tesam Bhavadana Rasam. Its function is to make them occur from arising until passing away. So it makes them occur, that means it's rise, right? Then also until they pass away. Tesaniwa. Sorry. Tapana Pachupatana is manifested in establishment of their presence. So that means it will maintain. Tapanami, it will make them stand or establish. Okay, now the last one. Then we see here, Yabhidava Buddha Bharatana. This approximate cause is the four great primary elements is on Kalapa that are to be maintained. That is it, also called life faculties. Then 17, we have heart materiality, right? Heart materiality also in the heart base. The Manodhatu, Manovinyana Dhatu Nam, Nisaya Lakanam. It has the characteristic of being the material supports for mind elements and mind conscious elements. Okay, here we have Mano Dhatu, Manovinyana Dhatu, two different body words. Later, we have to analyze according to elements. At the time, we have to analyze all these things. Now, it will be a little bit difficult for you to explain. So, for those who have learned Bidama, will know what is that. Then, Dhatu Nan Adarana Rasam. Its function is to uphold them. That means to uphold the mind elements and mind conscious elements. To be based on them. Okay. The next one, Pachupatthana. Ubahana Pachupattanam is manifested as the carrying of these elements. Then Chiduma Buddha Pattanam, its approximate cause is four great primary elements in its own Kalapa. So far we have already learned many different things about rupas, such as the translucency. Also, we have external objects. Then we also have such materialities. Also, we have life faculties, now heart materialities. So we have eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, translucency. These are produced by gamma. Similarly, such materiality are produced by gamma. Life faculty is also produced by gamma. Now, the last one here we mentioned, Hariyawatu, heart materiality also produced by gamma. Now we have nutriment materiality, edible foods. Ojana lakano. So that means it has the characteristic of nutritive essence, that is a nutritional substance contained in gross edible foods. Actually, in modern society, we can know, right? Okay, we can know or we can see the nutrient essence. We can know nutrient essence, right? Nutrient value in every single food. So anyway, we have to know its characteristic, right? Rupa, Harana, Raso. Its function to sustain the physical body or to feed kind of materialities, matter. So it will sustain physical body. So here we have to introduce one more thing. The nutrient essence can arise in every single corpus, in every single particles. It will sustain all the coexisting rupas. Then Upathambana Pachupatthano is manifested as consolidating or as the fortifying of the body. So this one's also easier, right? Now what's it? Kapalankatawa Aidaba Vatu Badathano. Its prosemic cause is gross edible foods, which is the base of nutritive essence. So these are real rupas. Okay, we can move next one. I think it's too much for today, right? Too much for today, right? Then also nearly 1/2 an hour, right? So, okay, maybe I should stop up only in nutritive essence, right? So we have already mentioned 18 types of materialities. They are called real rupa. So when we talk about nama rupa paricheda, defining or defining nama rupas or nama rupa vavatthana, defining nama rupa, we have to understand all types of rupas or all types of nama in 4 ways: their characteristics, the function, the manifestation, and the prosemic cause. So far we have learned all the real rupas. We can also say concrete rupa. In Bali we call rupa rupa. They are the object of upasana. That's why they are also called samasana rupa. That means when we are going to contemplate as anicca dukkha anatta, we have to understand these 18 materialities. Otherwise, we cannot contemplate as anicca dukkha anatta. So we may have our body. Mostly people understand this body is a rupa. Of course, this body is a rupa, right? But we have to overcome the concept, panyati. We have to understand ultimate reality. We have to contemplate ultimate reality as anicca dukkha anatta. That's really called vipassana. So today we started rupa meditations. We can not say rupa meditation. The very beginning part of rupa vavatthana, defining rupa or designing rupa. Okay? So in every single rupas, they have their own nature or characteristics, their own function, they have their manifestation and prosemic cause. If we can analyze well, we can understand the materiality deeper. If we can understand deeper, then we also like a functional competence. Different rupa function differently. If we can overcome functional competence, we may have more stronger perceptions of anatta. We may have more perceptions of non-self. It's out of our control. They are functioning their own way. When we have clear vision, this is called samadhi. To have samadhi, we have to learn properly. We have to practice properly. Okay, so may you all be able to practice the Buddha teaching properly, and may you all be able to realize the final cessation and not suffering.
Miss Yado, yes, Yado. The question is, according to the sutta, when it mentioned rupa, does that mean real ultimate materiality, or does it mean just material? This is the first question.
Okay.
And then the second is all the pasada rupa, a translucent kalapa, do they have the same color? And how to express or how to define this color more accurately? The third question, in this translucent kalapa, there are 4 elements and these 4 elements, can they produce light and color? The fourth question, in the kalapa, there are ubada rupa, means ubada rupa created by the 4 elements. Why can't they break up to become 4 elements again?
Okay.
Yes, these are the four questions.
The first one, rupa, right? Okay, we have
yes. First one, rupa. Does that mean the rupa mentioned in sutta? Does that mean that ultimate materiality or just material?
Okay, so let me. Okay, we may have many different meaning of rupa, right? For example, chakunja pradija rupeja pradija. At the time, rupa means the color. So mostly is example. For example, rupa anicca dukkha. In this case, we can say the rupa means materialities, all the materialities. That means material aggregates. Okay, when rupa anicca, vedana anicca, what I say like this, that means rupa means material aggregates. So there will be some special cases, right? For example, like for example, like chakunja pradija rupeja pradija. In this case, we have already said this is the rupa means color, right? So it depends on other contexts in the sentence. There will be different meaning. I cannot say exactly, right? So the next one is about, second question is about?
Second question is, in the translucent kalapa, they are color. Are the colors the same for all?
Okay.
Sorry, the Chinese question, please.
Question? Okay, the same or different, right? Okay.
Yeah.
That means, okay. So it depends on the conditions. It will be, in your eyes, it depends on the condition. They will be different, right? For example, even in the eyes. For example, when you have some eye swelling and something like this, it will be different color, right? Something red, for example, because of blood, right? Anyway, so it can be colors is changeable. Anyway, whatever color is changed, it must be translucency. Okay. The next one.
In the translucent kalapa, the 4 elements in the translucent kalapa, can they produce light and color?
Okay. Well, it depends. Okay. We cannot say exactly. For example, temperature produces materialities, produces materialities, right? It can produce, right? The brighter lights. Okay. Yeah.
The fourth question, the ubada rupa, can they be break up again to become original 4 elements?
Okay. So one more thing here. Ubada rupa means we say, but the eye translucency will pick up the color, right? Eye translucency is also ubada rupa. Color also ubada rupas. They can impinge each other, then they can know. Right? That mind can know it. So it depends, okay? It depends on the objects, or it depends on the sense doors.
No, Sayadaw, he means is since the ubada rupa is come from 4 elements.
Sure.
So can the ubada rupa break up again to become 4 elements?
Okay, sure. For example, what is translucency, right? What's ubada rupa? It can also pick up the tangible objects. This is possible, right? Okay. Next one.
Yes, Sayadaw explained about eye translucency has the characteristic of the sensitivity of primary elements in its own kalapa originated by kama springing or sourcing from craving to see. Could Sayadaw explain about a person who is born blind? Doesn't mean that he has no craving to see. That's why he is born with no eye translucency, or are there other reasons which cause him to be born blind? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so in this case, okay, he may have make some karma, right? With just find other people's eyes, the karma produce, and that's why they are blind, right? This is another case. So they have intention to see in the past, but they have another karma intervenes or obstructs, right? Intercepts. That's why then they have like a blind. They were born blind. Okay. This one.
Dear Seattle, for a person who did surgery to change his gender to female, will his sex materiality change to female sex materiality? For a man whose behavior is like a woman, does that mean he has less male materiality or he has mixed materiality? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so we can understand like that, right? Okay. So as you in the question already answered, right? We can also understand like this for surgery, okay, because the modern society, they have like many the medical medications, right, to change the body or change out anything. Then that's why it's possible to change female materialities. Also, another one is like a behavior, right? So we can also say like that. They may have maybe mixture of mixture of the sex materialities. Maybe female materiality be more, maybe like this, right? Okay, next one.
Yes. Vanami said all. So the question here, when the meditator practice the 14 ways of mind training so quickly like that, so also the object also change very quick, very fast, and also the jhana also changing very fast. So how can the meditator know that he in which jhana and which object he take? Và đối tượng chắc chắn. So the object and the jhana can be accurate or not. Tuy hành giả đó kiểm tra và quán thiền tri cũng đủ. And also he can check the jhana factor. Nhưng vì quá nhanh, but it is so fast. It happens so fast. So how can he know that? He surely know that he in which jhana, which object. So can it be possible?
Okay. Actually, when you review previous class, you can remember, right? We start with the kasina nuloma, right? Orderly, all the kasina orderly. So in the beginning, we cannot be very fast, and it will be a little bit slowly. After a few, maybe after many rounds or many times doing the same things, will become faster and faster, right? So that is why. So after practicing very long times, as soon as your mind inclined to the jhana, you can be in that jhana. Just mind, just your mind pick up any of kasina, it will be kasina objects. Then you will be in the jhana, you will be in that jhana. So it's that because of long time training, many ways of training, right, it becomes possible, right? So if you just think, imagine how it's possible, it will be impossible for you, right? Then don't think too much. So that means when you become skillful, you can change your mind very quickly. Many colors, many jhanas, just your mind inclined to it, it will happen. Okay? Next one.
Yes, Seattle. In the Buddha text, we read about the psychic power that a person can touch the moon. Could Seattle explain about the psychic power? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. I think in this case, we can say like he make near to far, right? Once very far, right? Very far. So that means he may have 80 Vida Abhinyana. This kind of is called 80 Vida Abhinyana. So he may determine very far to be near. Right? Then he may touch like this. It's possible. So in this case, it will be very messy, right? Okay, then next one.
Dear Seattle, how do we classify those who are born without either male or female sexual organs and those who are born with both sexual organs? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So in this case, this is right about the sex materialities, right? So it depends on their minds. We can also say, for example, okay, sometimes we get like now, okay, they need two sexual organs. Okay, so it depends on their mind also. For example, they can change, right? But Because their mind inclined more. Okay, for example, you know, at the time of the Buddha, there are many, many bhikkhus. When they are ordained, they are male, but gradually they change to female. Naturally, this kind of thing also happen, right? It depends on the condition. We cannot say exactly. So sometimes their mind will change to male or change to female, or maybe their body also change to male, change to female, right? It depends on how they feel in their minds.
Dear Seattle, she read that in the Jataka story, there is the king of the bird which can fly very fast. Then he tells the king that he can see the faster Nama Rupa. So the question is, can an animal see Nama Rupa?
Okay, it depends on their spiritual quality, the mind power is possible to see, right? So, okay, I do God, it doesn't mean they cannot see Namarupa. It's possible because they are born in, right? But it's very strong intellectual quality, that's why it's possible.
Good evening, Sayadaw. Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you.
Sayadaw, may I know when meditation, we contemplate the 5 sensitivity translucent. We going through the function, object, and element, etc., as described in the slide. But for the internal organs, how do we contemplate? May Sayadaw describe how do we contemplate for internal parts of the body?
Okay, so
that's my question.
Okay, so it depends on the different organs. Okay, for example, like even external organ for the head hair, right? We have private parts. But for example, sweat, sweat of our body, right? So sweat is only udujarubas, temperature, pressure, materialities, right?
Yes.
So there will be 4 elements. There will be the color, smell, taste. Also, there will be the nutrient essence. For about inside the body, for example, like newly eaten foods, it's also udujarubas. Materialities, right?
Yes.
So it will be the same as sweat. Similarly, urine will be same as sweat. So there are many other body parts such as like a lung or heart or any other things. So they may have many different types of materialities. Actually, when you review previous class like a 4-element meditation, there are many different types of kalapas, right? Detailed methods. So it depends on body parts. There will be different types of materialities. We have to design all the things in detail. It will be too wide.
So do we have to when meditate going through the deep concentration like into jhana only can contemplate this kind of organs parts, or it's just by conceptual contemplating only?
Okay, so when you have very strong concentrations, you can see materiality in all over the body. And you can also check all the rupas, power and part. You can also discern all the rupas. It's not conceptual. You must see it with your own knowledge, your own experiences. Right? So that means, ideally, you must have asset concentration, foundations of vipassana.
尊敬的西雅图弟子顶礼尊者，禅修增加智慧。
Okay.
Okay. Sadhu, sadhu, Bhante.
Vandami Seattle, meditation can increase wisdom. But what type of wisdom increase through meditation? 还是所有对 or all the wisdom can be increased by meditation?
Okay, so it depends on what you practice. For example, when you are practicing jhana or when you can change jhana, we call jhanamaya panya, right? That wisdom produced by jhana. This is called jhanamaya panya. This comes from your own experiences. Okay, when we start practicing vipassana, for example, when you can practice this nama rupas clearly, we call the purifications of view, right? So that means your vision will become clearer. Your perceptions of another will become clearer. There also one more thing, you may not have any perceptions of another, any perceptions of other, self or soul or anything, right? This is one thing, this also comes from meditation experience. So when you can practice cause and effect relationship, for the past life cause this life will cause future, for example, right? Or if you can know all the cause effect relationship, present past future. Then you may have more knowledge, you may have clear vision about karma ownership. You may know your karma aware create your life. Because karma sakata jnana, you may have stronger karma ownership knowledge. This comes from your own practice. So that means in every single improvement, there will be special knowledge for you. Already mentioned in the Bali text, right? You can try. So there are many other things. For example, even by region, we have many things about our life, right? For example, happiness. The one I mentioned many different types of happiness. Okay, I will say very simple things about morality. When we have morality, we may have blameless happiness. We call anavacha sukha. We will not blame ourselves. Nobody will blame us, especially good people will not blame us. This is called anavacha sukha, happiness. So by learning, also we can experience knowledge. By practicing, also we can have knowledge. It depends on how we practice, which level we are practicing. There will be different knowledge. Okay.
What I mean said, so can Saraj explain to us that what is the meaning of the visual object imping to the eye sensitivity?
Okay. This is okay. Now I will say very simple example. Now you are seeing your telephone screen or computer screen, right? Your telephone, they have different color. If the color image your eyes, then you can see it. This is what visible data means, the color of screen. Right? It also a mixture of many materialities there. It's just for clear understanding, right? So in practical practice, it will be more in detail. Okay. The next one.
Dear Seattle, for those ahetuka beings, if their wisdoms are very strong, can they attain Sankarupaka Jnana?
Okay, so that kind of things is it doesn't mention in any text, right? We are not sure. But what about like a general practice is possible. For example, like when you study Master Pratana Sutta, you know, one of the parrots, he couldn't know his body is a skeleton. You know, you can answer like that. So this kind of thing also happens. This is not bodhisattva. That is just normal parrots, right? So similarly, like bodhisattva's case, maybe I'm not sure. It doesn't mention anything about Sankarupaka Jnana about bodhisattva. That's normal dharana or just like a normal practice. Okay. Etawadacha ammehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe deva numodantu sabbe buddha numodantu sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampati siriya idamme nyatinam hotu sukhita hondu nyatayo idamme nyatinam hotu Sukhita hondu nyatayo idamme nyatinam hotu Sukhita hondu nyatayo idamme punyam asavakaya vaham hotu idamme punyam nibbanasa pachayo hotu mama punya bhagam sabhasatanam bhajemi sabhe me samam Punya Bhagam Lavandu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu